Here's how people get lucky. All businesses, 25% go out of business year one, mainly because when they were trying to get lucky, they weren't playing by the book.
Right? So many people are now just AIing all their lawyer needs. How are you guys combating that, at least in the short term?
What scares me the most is I'm talking to Claude all day long.
Yeah.
I think it will be how the world ends.
Really?
Home ownership is not a thing of the future. It's a thing of the past.
I think that too.
And that was the American dream.
Yeah. Today's episode, I'm really excited because we have the biggest lawyer in the world. They currently have done billions of dollars in cases. They're doing billions of dollars a year. They've represented all the way from just normal civil cases to professional athletes to everything in between. I've got the founder of Morgan & Morgan, John Morgan. What's up, man?
It is good to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in. We've got our bald co-host, Brian Davila, here as well.
What up, Morgan?
How are you?
Don't sue me, bro.
Listen, now that we know each other, you got diplomatic immunity. So
Amen. There we go.
Yeah, what is it? Privilege?
Yes.
Now we've talked about things.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Attorney-client relationship.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I've always wondered, because I see your guys' signs, and it seems like you're now starting to advertise even at a higher level now. Like I see you obviously doing podcasts like this, and, you know, just it seems like you're expanding even more.
Well, I have a saying that I've had almost from the very beginning. It's very simple: grow or die.
Mm.
And the conference I put on out here in Vegas this week was called Grow or Die. And so my business philosophy has always been, if you're not going up, you're going down.
Yeah.
So we just keep, like, this year we'll spend, and all advertising will spend $650 million in advertising.
Do you know how that's like broken out? Like, is it all
Yeah.
just nationwide?
It's nationwide. It's like 100 million is billboards,
Okay.
Damn.
you know. And so, yeah, I got it broke. We are this year the largest spender of billboard advertising in America. I just gave the keynote speech at the Out of Home convention in Dallas.
Mm.
And it's on my speech is on YouTube if you want to watch it. But but it's just, you know, when I started the first year, my budget was $100,000, and I borrowed that.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a plan B if it didn't work. So
How long ago was that when you got started?
1988, when I started advertising like this.
That's probably a lot of money, 100,000 even in 1988 to get started.
Listen, I was so broke, I needed a cosigner to pay cash, man. I mean, I had to borrow that 100. It wasn't even my 100.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How much revenue do you guys do now?
Last year we did $2.4 billion.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, bro.
Yeah.
So how many employees and across the country is that?
We have, like, just call centers. We got call centers in Vegas here. We got Orlando, El Salvador, Dominican. We have 1,100 call center
Employees. Just on just call centers.
Yeah. We'll take in a day 7,000 calls a day.
These people are just seeing your billboards. They're like, I just got in a wreck. I mean, you guys like do any case.
Billboards.
Like.
Well, we do all sorts. We do personal injury, do medical malpractice. We do, you know, employment law, Social Security. It's a full service injury firm. If you've had something taken from you, you want me to get it back.
Right. That's crazy. So
we have 1,100 lawyers too, a little over 1,100 lawyers.
One call rep per lawyer. Each lawyer gets their own rep.
Exactly. Well, a lot of people don't spend money on call centers, and look, here's the way I look at business, all sorts of businesses, because I'm in all sorts of business. I'm in the attraction business. I build hotels. I build shopping centers. I don't fish, and I don't hunt. You know, I hunt money, and that's kind of like my hobby. You know, business is my hobby.
Yeah.
And so if business is your hobby, and so I've always looked at most business like this: is catching fish and cooking fish. And if you don't catch the fish, you can't cook the fish. But if you don't know how to cook the fish, it doesn't matter that you caught the fish.
Mm.
So the call centers are a part of the catching fish, and the lawyers are the cooking fish.
Got it.
Hmm.
So even speaking to that, you know, you have that many calls coming in on a daily basis. You're managing this much intake, and then, you know, the cooking of the fish, they sign as a client. Now you got to go and get this thing wrapped up here. What is like the cash conversion cycle in your guys' business typically?
I would say from intake to end, on average. Now, look, some of these things take 10 years.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But on average, 12 to 15 months.
That's the hardest part about being a lawyer, I think, because I've worked with different lawyers and buddies who've built $10 million a year firms, $20 million a year firms. And they're like, I'm going to start marketing and do the stuff. And like, I see the cost to market as a lawyer these days. It's like, you got to be omnipresent. And it's like, you got to put $1 in and you're waiting at least a year for that dollar to come back. That's a lot of cash to have out.
And so the way I look at it is this, you know, I've got some restaurants that I have. I started a business called Downtown Flavor Town.
Okay.
Which is
Bobby Flay?
No, Guy Fieri.
Oh, Guy. Oh, yeah. Guy's Flavor Town. Yeah.
Guy's my guy. So just think of Dave & Buster's meets Guy Fieri. That's my concept. I just opened up my second one last week in Myrtle Beach, and I have a restaurant in downtown Disney called Wine Bar George. In the restaurant business, the way you make money, real money, is turning tables.
Okay.
So I take that turning tables concept and I move it into the law. So the faster I can bring a case in and get it turned around to turn that table, the more money I can make, and usually the better I can do for my client, because cases don't get better, they get worse. So I've got a whole concept about from inception to end of turning cases like we turn tables. And we've set up all sorts of systems to make that happen. If you have a restaurant, you turn tables once a night, you make some money. If you turn tables twice a night, you make some more money. If you turn tables 3 times a night, you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept that I'm doing in my restaurant business that I'm doing in my law business.
So what made you get in the law business? I know you said you started in 1988.
My brother, Tim, I was at the University of Florida, and I got a phone call from my dad, and my brother, Tim, had been paralyzed as a lifeguard at Walt Disney World. And all of a sudden that journey began for our family. And when that journey began, it was a terrible journey because we were poor people. And when you're poor and kind of behind the 8 ball, you're, you know, hopeless, helpless, powerless. And it was very frustrating. And I loved him deeply. And it happened at Disney, and they fought him tooth and nail. And I became enraged about what happened to him. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was. And so Tim's bad luck turned out to be my entire career.
Wow.
And then he was a quadriplegic. When I first got to the hospital, he was just spinning on a gurney. He couldn't move anything. And by the grace of God, I mean, we said so many prayers over Tim. We were sending off to getting Lourdes water and rubbing his legs and having priests come, and we were praying like crazy. And a lot of people said, you know, because he never walked, that our prayers weren't answered, but we thought they were, because Tim became what's called a super quad, which was he could drive, he could work, and it was not great, but it had a little girl, had a daughter. And so we felt that our prayers were answered, because the alternative would have been the worst. And then Tim came and worked until he passed away. He worked with me for 28 years.
Is he the other Morgan?
No, my wife's the other Morgan.
Okay. I've always wondered that. I'm like, who's the other Morgan? I only see one.
I met my wife. The book I wrote, Life is Luck, I write about meeting her. I was in law school, because the thing about life is this: it's 1,000 left turns, it's 1,000 right turns, it's 1,000 U-turns, and one different turn in your life is totally different. And so one day I'm in law school, and I go, you know, I'm just going to go down to church and just clear my head. I'm not a go-to-mass guy. I'd go to church on Sunday, but I just decided to go clear my head. I go to church. I'm in line, 5 o'clock to get communion. I look ahead of me. I see this girl with little shorts on and spaghetti strap thing. I like, this is good. This is good.
I like church.
I like yeah, I like church. And then she turned around and got even better. I'm like, I like church. And I did something, and I went out and asked her for a number.
Mhm.
And that's my wife.
Wow.
On that day, if I don't make that one turn
Right.
that day, and then by happen chance, she was teaching legal writing at the University of Florida. She'd graduated. And that one day, that one lucky turn, if I don't do that, I don't have my 4 children, I don't have my 6 grandchildren, and I don't have my law partner at Morgan & Morgan, Ultima Morgan.
Wow. That's
Pretty
crazy.
cool, isn't it?
That is cool. So you guys started together, you and your wife. And
Well, she was a corporate lawyer. I had a law firm called Morgan, Collin & Gilbert. We did pretty good. And in 2000, and this is something that I would say to your listeners they got to do. The biggest problem in any business, it doesn't matter, is if you got a partner that's not rowing with you.
Yeah.
They're cancers.
Yeah.
And if you don't get rid of the cancer will get rid of you. And so in early 2000, I was expanding and they didn't want to expand. They wanted me to close Jacksonville. They wanted to close Naples and start making all the money and keeping all the money. And I said, no. And then they go, well, that's what we want to do. And I said, then why don't I buy you out? So I bought them out they own 27% of the firm. I bought them out for $1.7 million, which is the steal of a century in retrospect.
Yeah. It's worth billions now.
Yeah. It was like, and so, when that happened, my wife had retired from practicing law. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to make her the partner. Morgan & Morgan sounds better. It's easy to remember from a marketing point of view.
Yeah, I was like, why not just call it Morgan?
And then I had
firm.
and I had kids in the pipeline, and my wife was attractive, and there was really nobody with women doing ads. I mean, she's a big driver for business. People want, they respond well to her ads.
Yeah.
So when I bought those guys out, I renamed the firm Morgan & Morgan.
Wow. And
And
that was in 2000, you said?
And then, May 22nd, we celebrated 44 years of marriage.
Wow. That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
All because of you call them just a left turn.
Left turn.
Yeah. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this episode, but how would you like to be the one that I'm interviewing on this show? I'm looking for entrepreneurs who've got a great message to share, who have an inspiring story, and who can add value to the audience. So submit by going to wealthyway.com.
I got a friend in Maui. In Maui, there's a guy named, remember McKenna? You're a McKenna guy. You love it. There's a guy named Shep Gordon.
Okay. I don't know him.
Google, whoever's watching this, Google Shep Gordon or read his book called Supermensch, or watch the documentary Supermensch. Shep became this gigantic agent.
Okay.
Shep Gordon goes to L.A. He's driving down the road. He's supposed to go to this road here, but he doesn't. He misses the turn, and he takes another turn, and he ends up at this hotel called the Landmark Hotel. He walks into the Landmark Hotel, and he hears a girl screaming. He thinks she's being raped. He keeps walking. She's not being raped. She's having consensual sex, and her name is Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin then introduces him the next day to Jimi Hendrix, who introduces him to somebody else. He becomes Alice Cooper's manager. That missed turn, that new turn, turned into Shep Gordon's life. He became Alice Cooper's manager and then went on to build one of the big agencies in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You'll meet, if you go to McKenna, ask for Shep Gordon.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ask for him.
And when we leave, you ought to just Google him just to. He's the best. I call him because everybody that comes to Maui has to go through, when I go there, I'm going there the 22nd, and he's having a party for what's the senator from Arizona, Mark Kelly, and Gabby Gifford. Everybody that comes to Maui goes through Shep Gordon.
Okay.
I call him the Maui Llama.
The Maui Llama. He's just the sheriff.
Yes, he is.
So obviously you and your wife now start rebranding and growing this thing. How did it get to where it is today? How do you go from buying out your partners, doing decent, obviously, but you buy them out, to now billions?
What I would say is this. everybody wants to make the money right now. And that's okay. But when you're young, when you're making the money, you need to reinvest the money. If you're going to scale, if you're going to grow, you got to take the money and build. So I went to Orlando, went to Tampa. That's what the falling out with my guys were. They wanted to keep the money in Orlando and Tampa and not go to Jacksonville, not go to Naples. But I looked at it like, hey, I'm young enough to take this time. I got a lot of time to get this. I was,
Were they older?
No, they were
Oh.
contemporaries.
So they just didn't want to scale the way you did.
But the interesting thing, when I bought them out, you know what the one guy did with his money?
What?
Bought a boat.
Just chilled out.
But it just told you everything about him.
Right.
He bought a boat, and I went and kept growing the businesses. And so once I'd master a city, I'd go to the next city. So I went to Florida, then I went down to Miami, then I went to Atlanta, then I went to Alabama, then I went. Then it became New York, and now we're in all 50 states.
How old were you when this happened?
I'm 70 years old right now. This happened I bought them out in 2000. So
45.
yeah.
Got it.
With a lot. And when you're 45, like, I don't know, how old are you?
I'm 37.
I mean, you like Dan, you're Dan's age.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of runway.
Right.
And when you got a lot of runway, you got a lot of time to get rich. And the great thing about investing, when you invest, those first years, you're not going to make money. So every time you invest $1, you're really only investing 60 cents because you write off the 40%.
Yeah.
So that was appealing to me too, to be able to grow it with, help from the government, those tax write-offs.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't think about that. But it'd be like if you could if you're investing $100 in the stock market, but you got 40 back day one.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Yeah.
And so I just kept building and building and growing and growing and growing and growing. And then you wake up one day and you're like, how did this happen? And then, a couple of years ago, they put me on the cover of Forbes magazine as a billionaire. And you're like, how did that happen? And then this year, Forbes had me in there as one of the 250 self-made people in America, number 91 or 92. And then you look back and you go, how did all that happen? And there really was no plan. There's no plan. Nobody sets out to, all the things I'm in, I never envisioned it when I graduated from school. I never thought I got attractions. I got shopping centers. I didn't have a plan for that. I just kept moving the ball, moving forward.
Just if you're not growing, you're dying. Back to that. You're like, hey,
look,
how do I grow next?
And also, I believe that's why the book I wrote, Life is Luck, I say, look, I believe that life is luck. I mean, when I was a kid in Lexington, Kentucky, I had a paper route. Paper routes are hard things. But one thing about paper routes, it's almost like you've been born with this entrepreneurial seed.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, I don't know what you did as a kid, but just the small amount of time we spent together, you were hustling something.
Oh, I was slinging Pokemon cards and, bro, I've always slang.
And playing baseball.
Playing baseball, I was doing it.
Exactly. Cutting grass. I mean, listen, I was selling Christmas cards at 7.
Yeah.
And I looked at Cheerful Card Company out of White Plains, New York. Why were you slinging Pokemon cards and nobody else was? Why was I out there? And listen, in a paper route, that's every day. That's rain, sleet, snow, cold. Get up, get the papers, go to school, collect the money. There's some people are born with that hustle.
Yeah.
That internal hustle, that desire to be in charge of your own destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And, my dad, we were financially insecure. So that might have, when I was 10, I go to the dentist, had a bad tooth. I hear my dad talk to the dentist out there, and I hear him say, well, how much will it cost? I said, well, we can do a root canal for $50, or we can pull it for $5. And I hear my dad say, well, I guess we'll have to pull it. And I say to myself at 10 years old, I'm fucked. I mean, and I hear that, and I'm like, and that's when I went and bought the paper out. I said, you know what?
Like, I'm taking control. I'm doing this.
$50 ain't that big a deal. And then when I walked into the house, I saw my 4 brothers and sisters. I looked at them. I had this gauze sticking out of my mouth. I pulled the gauze out. I thought they'd pulled 3 teeth instead of 1. I looked at my siblings. I'm like, you're fucked too, because you're in the same family. And so I went and got a paper out. And that was the beginning of a lifetime of entrepreneurial spirit.
I've seen that. So him and I worked together on the education side for many years. And, we teach people how to flip houses and invest in real estate. And so, we built a big education company doing that and doing big seminars. And it's just funny when you see the people who succeed versus those who don't. And it's like, all want the same thing. Hey, we want to like make money and become a millionaire and do real estate. And then you just see like a lot of people just literally like the high wears off and they're like, it's a lot of work. I don't really want to do this. And then you see these other people who are like, just take it and just hit the ground running and kill it. And it's like, I've always wondered in my mind, I'm like, why is everyone not like, how do you get more of those people? And is there even anything we can do? Are you just born with it?
Well, listen, today in the jungle, a lion will be born. He's the king. And a sloth will be born. He's fucked. Okay?
Yeah.
Just by being born. There are so many things that are out of our control. Being born is like trillions to one. What country you're born in.
Right.
Think if you were born in North Korea or the Congo or China or almost anywhere but here. Think of who your parents are. Think of the schools you went to. There are so many variables along the way that, people that are tall do better in politics and people are short. So I guess I won't be president. So, I mean, you don't ever see short presidents. You don't, and when you look in, and I write in the book, you don't see in the executive suites, they're usually better looking people are the CEOs. You don't see a lot of ugly CEOs. Being, now you can comb your hair right and you can shave right and you can have some plastic surgery and make the nose smaller, but by and large, what you look like is what you look like.
Yeah.
And so those things are out of our control. And a lot of, I believe that's out of our control is that internal drive. I'll meet people and I'll say, were you a paper boy? And they'll go, yeah, why? I could tell. Why? Something about you. And I bet you know those people too. You can tell, you can smell it. It's like, and we almost like know each other. It's like, were you a paper boy?
Yeah.
And then when you start talking about, another Pokemon card guy, you're like, you have a bond with that person.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you could go sit down with somebody that used to do what you did with Pokemon and you'd have one of the great conversations of all time.
Oh yeah.
Because it's so fascinating. I watch that collectible thing with the Pokemon cards.
Yeah, with Golden on Netflix. That was good.
Oh,
I loved it.
Oh, I watched the whole thing in an afternoon.
Yeah.
And I had, mine were baseball cards. And unfortunately, my dad in a move, I had one of the great baseball card collections, threw them all away. I mean, I had Mickey Mantles. I had, and at the time he threw them away, I was just disappointed he threw them away. I got more disappointed later in life when I found out what they were all worth. I'm like,
Honus Wagner.
Honus Wagner. But when I saw Logan Paul with that card, I started cussing my damn dad for throwing away Mickey Mantle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So your opinion is just, and I agree. I've talked about this on the show before where it's like, how blessed am I? I was born in the greatest country in the world. I'm athletic and good looking and these things that I have literally no control of. I didn't deserve it. I didn't earn it. My parents are still married. And it's like, I still got to like put in the work and do what I got to do. But like, I already had such an advantage over so many people. It's like, and I did nothing to earn it. You guys know I love the game of golf, and that is why I started M19. It is a golf mastermind for entrepreneurs who are doing over 7 figures in their business and who want to go on bucket list golf trips together. We already have hundreds of members all across the country, and we've been to some of the best courses in the world, places like Pebble Beach, Pinehurst, Bandon Dunes, and many others. The course is the best place to do deals, make great relationships, and have fun. So go to mastermind19.com today.
But how does someone get lucky?
Well, here's what I write about in the book. Here's how people get lucky. That's a great question. You get lucky when you're looking for luck. How do you look for luck? You're looking for opportunities.
Yep.
Now, we're doing this show in Vegas. The same rules that apply in business apply in the casinos. Let me illustrate. There's rules of business that everybody should follow, but sometimes they don't. If you go to a casino, I'm going to give you a test to see if you're a gambler or not.
Oh, I'm a gambler.
Okay. So here's the deal. The rule of the casino, 2 aces. What do?
You're going to split them.
You got 16 and they're showing 10. What do?
I'm going to hit.
Showing 5.
They're showing 5?
Yeah.
I'm still hitting.
No.
With an ace? It's soft.
No, 16.
Oh,
No.
well, I thought you meant I had a soft
No.
16.
You got a 16 and they're showing a 5.
Not a soft 16.
No, yes.
A normal 16.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
staying. Yeah.
And by the way, for the people who don't know the book, just ask the dealer. They'll tell you because they're getting tipped.
You get a little card.
Yeah. So those are rules,
Right,
in the casinos.
Yeah, if somebody else hits on a hard 16,
and then there's games to play and not to play. If you play Keno, you're basically fucked. You
got your best odds of craps.
Exactly. Then blackjack, and there's a whole. And I write about this in the book. So that's the same thing in business. What are the 2 rules? What are the 2 worst mistakes in business? Bad location, and undercapitalized. Those are the 2 big businesses. Think about this. All businesses, 25% go out of business year 1. 43% go out by year 5, and 65% go out by year 10. Mainly because when they were trying to get lucky, they weren't playing by the book. Simple rules. 2 aces, you split. If they hit you another ace, you split again. That's called return on luck. That's called enhancing luck. So those rules that are here in the casinos in Vegas, they're here in life too.
Yeah.
And so there's that. You got to always be looking for opportunity. Now, another thing is this. A lot of times we get bad luck and we lose and we fail. And what I say to everybody is what you have to do when you fail is you have to make failure your friend. Because if those lessons from that failure are what can make you a whole lot of money the next time you go out. The first time we go out, we're going through the woods. We don't know where we are. It's like being in a mirror maze.
Yeah.
You run down. But the next time you go through, you've got markings. You know, hey, I've tied the ribbon here. I got this. And if you take those lessons from that failure and make failure your friend the second time out, you can go through the woods a lot faster and the maze a lot quicker.
Yeah. It's funny. As you were mentioning failure, I was just thinking, I'm like, lawyers make a career off failure. You know, it's just like, whenever there's a failure, there's a lawsuit.
Yes.
Yes.
Failure is my friend.
I know. For you, it's great. Oh, there's a problem. Yep. There's going to be an issue.
Yes.
One thing you just mentioned that I've been thinking a lot about recently is you said, okay, they're either playing the wrong game and they have the wrong strategy, or they're undercapitalized.
That's number 1.
Yeah. Did you raise money during any of this point to get to where you are?
Yeah. Well, like with my attractions, I've got an attraction called Wonderworks. It's a house that's turned upside down.
Okay. When you say attractions, you
like Ripley's Believe It or Not.
You have those
type of attractions.
Wow. Okay.
But Wonderworks is built. The building is upside down. When you walk in and you're standing on the ceiling.
Wow.
And you look up and there's the stairway. And then you go through the attraction. So the first time I did that, I did one in Orlando and I had an idea and I did it, but I didn't have any money. So what do you do if you don't have any money? Well, you go raise money.
Yeah.
It's called and you know this, OPM.
Yeah.
Other people's money. And so to build WonderWorks, I needed like $7 million, $7.5 million. So I went out and raised the money. How did I raise the money? Friends, family, people I knew. I raised $7 million. I gave a 10% preferred return, which was crazy in retrospect. I said, I'm going to pay you all your money. I won't get any money till you get your money back. And then once we get your money back, we're going to split 50-50. That was the first one.
Yeah.
1997.
So they became equity partners as well.
They became equity partners. And then I did another one. Now Orlando's successful. The way you find luck is you build on success. Because success breeds success, and success breeds investors.
Yeah.
So I took all my investors from the first WonderWorks. I said, hey, we're going to do it again. But this time, instead of paying a 10% return, because now
you've proven it.
I've proven it. We're going to do it again, except this time I'm going to pay an 8% and this time, instead of giving you all your money back first, I'm going to give you 70% of the money, and on and on and on. Myrtle Beach, Make a long story short, we sit here today, 30 years later, and this is kind of like a hobby for me. And I've bought a lot of these investors out, but I've got, I do $33 million in EBITDA a year.
Dang.
With no debt.
On the attraction business.
On the attraction business.
Just your side hustle.
It's my side hustle.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you do any of the escape rooms and stuff?
Yeah.
Like you got.
Well, I got another attraction called Alcatraz East. It's a crime museum. In Alcatraz East, let me tell you what I got. I got Ted Bundy's VW. I got John Dillinger's sedan. I got the Bonnie and Clyde death car. I got OJ's Bronco. I got the Murdochs. So in this attraction,
you bought OJ's actual Bronco.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
Damn.
yes.
How much was that?
$500,000 plus. I mean, I leased it for a while, so I fucked up by just not buying it straight up. But I didn't know if it was going to make it. So here's what I tell your people in business: bullets before bombs. So I was building the attraction, but I didn't know if it was going to make it. So if I go buy OJ's Bronco and it doesn't make it, what am I going to do with OJ's Bronco?
Mm-hmm.
So bullets before bombs. As I got into it, the guys kept saying, well, we like to sell. They needed money.
Yeah.
They needed money. So I built this, and it looks like a prison. If you Google Alcatraz East, it looks like a prison in the 1800s. And that attraction nets about $7 million a year.
Wow, net. Where's it at?
Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Smoky Mountains.
I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Ryan Trahan did a video there, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. What's the revenue?
On that, about 15.
So it's like netting 50% because it's just upfront cost.
Here's the great thing about my business. I don't have cost of goods.
Because you already bought it. They just tore it.
Listen, the best business, I'm selling air.
Yeah.
Once I pay it off, I don't have food. My labor's less than a restaurant. Now my downtown flavor towns, that's a bigger mess because now you got food, you got shrinkage,
Way more operation.
Oh, it's food and beverage is a mother.
Yeah.
But the attractions, but you got to keep the stuff working.
Yeah.
But I love that business because it's very hard to be stolen from. Because I got cameras over the cash registers. My point of sales I'm very tight with my point of sales, and I got cameras over the watching the money come in, and it's a great bit. It's just a fantastic business.
Yeah, it's just foot traffic.
But now remember the two reasons you're going to do bad: location and capital. My locations are Main and Main. I'm not off the beaten strip.
Yeah.
I mean, if you decide to say, hey, we're just going to kind of advertise more, they're going to come see it. No, build it and they will come. Not necessarily. So my locations, like the first WonderWorks, I put it was out by where the convention center was. And I was lucky to get this site, but it's probably the best site on the International Drive.
Yeah.
And Orlando, Florida, with 80 million tourists.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then what I also say is when you build it, I want to build something that attracts moths to the flame. The way you build that is you make the structure fantastic. When I was building these things, I said, I cannot flinch on the outside. I got to make them want to come on the inside. If the outside doesn't look enticing, they don't care about the inside. When you Google the 10 most unusual buildings in the world, there's always one of my Wonderworks in there.
Right.
People they just got to. Here's what I'd like to have. If I could just get a nickel for every picture that's been taken of Wonderworks,
You'd have a lot.
that's all I want.
You make more than the law firm.
I'd make more than, because pictures,
Yeah.
with 80 million people coming through times a nickel.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
And then all the other nickels and all the other years, and it's a lot of money. So on the outside, Alcatraz East, when you look at Alcatraz East, it's like, holy cow.
Hey, real quick, I'm looking for one company to partner with this month and run their entire marketing and sales department. That means we're going to run their ads, build their funnels, manage their CRM, hire and train their sales team and manage them, and just handle all of the front end revenue for this business. All you would have to do is just manage fulfillment and serve your clients well. And for doing this, we're not going to do any kind of equity. It is just going to be a profit share agreement. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, go to PinedaPartners.com right now. You can apply today. We're only taking on one company. And so if you think your company's a fit, make sure you apply today. You've got to be doing at least $50,000 a month in revenue in order for us to even look at it. So go to PinedaPartners.com today. How did you get to that level of detail? Clearly, you understand the attraction business. I mean, you're busy building this attraction business that by its own right is a massive business. But then you're building the biggest law firm in the world. How did you focus and do both? And I'm sure you built other businesses too. We're only on 2 of them.
I built, I mean, I got a, hotel business. Here's how you do it. There's no way that you can be all this without great people. You have to find the people who are going to execute your vision. The kind of people I'm looking for, I call them send delete people. What does that mean to me? Send delete means you find, and I guarantee you're going to know who I'm talking about. There are people in our life that you send something to, and you can delete it and not worry about it because you know it's done.
The task is accomplished. I did it.
Send delete.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you, I walk through this place and go, is he send delete? Is she send delete? And you'll have an answer for that.
Yeah.
And you find these people. And then in organizations, people emerge. And then once you find great people, then you take your vision to be executed. And then once you do that, and this is the key, you ruthlessly delegate.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough time in the day. I had Dan Martell at my convention here.
Good buddy of mine.
Okay. He was great.
Yep.
Buying time. Because there's only so much time in the day.
Yep.
And so sometimes you got to go pay people to execute your vision because there's not enough time in the day. And that's why I had him out here to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so I buy a lot of my time with these people. And the way here's how you build a great business with the people. Once you get them, you got to take care of them. It's like building a circus. If you want to build a circus, there's 2 types of circuses. You can have kind of a bullshit circus where you pull into a shopping center and there's like a elephant with one tusk and a drunk clown and a hot seal and everybody's like, or you can build the greatest show on earth.
Right.
How do you build the greatest show on earth? You got to have lions and tigers and bears and you're in there with them. But do you know why people come to the circus?
To be entertained?
No, they want to see the guy killed. They want to see the guy eaten.
Yeah.
They want to see Dale Earnhardt blown to smithereens. And when they look at the guy up on the high wire, you know why they come to see that? They want to see him fall.
Mm.
They come to see death.
Wow.
Here's how you avoid death in your business. If you want to build the greatest show on earth, with your employees, you love them and you feed them. And when you're on the high wire, you focus.
Mm.
You find your people, you ruthlessly delegate. But if you're going to ruthlessly delegate, you got to be careful because you got to love them and feed them or they'll turn on you. and you got to focus. Love them, feed them, focus.
That's really good. Did you raise any money to build Morgan and Morgan?
No.
You just built that all the way?
Organically. I kept, every time I'd make money, listen, I didn't make $1 million. I didn't make $1 million on my taxes until I was 41 years old.
Wow.
Okay. And I'm not embarrassed about it because I was taking millions of dollars that I could have been reporting and I was plowing it back in to Tampa, Jacksonville, Atlanta, and to this day, right now I've got out of pocket in an expansion $140 million that I haven't gotten back yet.
Right.
But I also have a business that makes almost $1 billion a year.
You're still just reinvesting back into the business even at this time.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes. Well, because my idea for my law firm is in 2000 something early. I said I had a vision, and the vision was this: what would Google do if it was a law firm? And my answer was it would be everywhere for everyone. And I started building what in my vision was called, in my mind, the Google law firm. And I kept asking myself, what would Google do? And the answer was it'd be everywhere for everyone. And it wouldn't want some cases, it would want all the cases.
Yeah.
I don't want some cases. I want all that's my goal. I want all the cases. Am I going to get all the cases? No. But if you don't set out that way, you're not going to be successful. When Roberto Goizeta, where's the Cuban guy?
He's edited some videos.
Roberto Goizeta is a Cuban guy. Cubans are the smartest people in the world. He was the president of Coca-Cola. Every day he'd walk down his house in Atlanta. He'd tie his Hermes tie. He'd look in the mirror and he would look in it and he'd say, Roberto, today is the day you put PepsiCo out of business. Was he going to put PepsiCo out? Probably not. But that's the mindset you got to have. You got to have a killer mindset. You don't want some business. You want all the business.
Yeah. That's how you treat the other law firms? You're
Yeah.
like, I'm coming after you.
They said, what's the solution? I say, come work with me.
Yeah, I'm going to take your business one way or another.
And that's what I've done. I got people that were my competitors are now working with me.
Yeah.
The stars. And so that's how I've approached this thing. Am I going to ever get it all? No, it's impossible. But that's got to be your mindset. The Robert Goizeta, today is the day I put PepsiCo out of business. And look, on the way to this deal, I wrote a book before called You Can't Teach Vision. And here's what your readers got to or listeners got to understand. You hear about visionaries, right? Steve Jobs is a visionary. Bill Gates is a visionary. You're a visionary.
Yeah.
Visionaries. And then you go, wait a minute. Am I really? No. Once time when my kids were little, I'd go to church on Sunday and then we'd go to Perkins or Denny's or something. And I spent half the time rolling crayons would roll off onto the floor. I'd be down the floor picking up crayons. And I said to my wife, I said, somebody's got to invent a crayon that doesn't roll.
So you built the little square ones?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Here's what happened. We go to Denny's one day for breakfast, and they bring out not squares, triangle crayons.
Yeah.
I pick up the crayon, and I look at my wife. I go, sorry, I said this right out of church. I go, fuck.
Someone did it.
Someone did it.
Yeah.
Someone did it. There is a big difference between visionaries and vision makers.
Oh, yeah.
There's a zillion people who've had, that was my idea.
Yeah.
And standing between the visionary and the vision maker are a shitload of vision blockers. Remember this, people got family members who would rather see somebody else win the lottery than their own family.
Yeah.
Jealousy is unbelievable. People are stopping, don't do it. There's people blocking your vision. Because it's hard to go from visionary to vision maker, especially get past the vision blockers. And the number one vision blocker is you.
Yeah.
Fear, complacency, laziness. So the visionary, I don't like the name visionary. because the visionary, almost 99% of them didn't do shit.
Yeah.
Didn't do shit.
Yeah. They got a good idea.
It's the one who, they had a good idea. We all got good ideas. I'm having a contest right now in Florida to start a new political party. I'm going to pay whoever gets the best, whoever the name I pick, I'm going to pay give them $100,000.
I'm going to enter. What is it? What are we trying to do?
Contest is over. A name of a new political party to be in the middle.
Okay.
You know how many people, you know how many entries I got?
No.
35,000.
Okay.
And those are all visionaries, but there's only going to be one that's going to be the vision maker. And there's a lot of, so we all got ideas.
Yeah.
But getting up out of bed and delivering those papers, getting those Pokemon cards, or getting in that cage and taking those reps, or having your dad out there that fungo bat when nobody else is out there with that fungo bat. That's why you played baseball. That's why you were good. Yeah, God blessed you with athleticism. That's just the beginning.
Right.
That's just the beginning.
Yeah.
And so, big difference between visionaries and vision makers.
What name did you pick? I'm just curious.
I haven't picked it yet.
Oh, okay.
I got to pick it.
Can be better than independent.
This can't be independent. Everybody wants it to be, everybody's saying the People's Party, but because my slogan is for the people. But my lawyer's like, he's like, the Communist Party in China is called the People's Party.
Yeah, we don't like that.
No, we don't like that.
We don't like communism.
No, we're trying to avoid that.
We don't like socialism.
No, we don't like that either.
So, but you'll see. I'll text you when I'm gonna name it today or tomorrow.
So you're gonna be
today or tomorrow?
Oh yeah, the contest is over.
Why don't we just? I mean, this ain't gonna go out for weeks, dude. You have a.
I can. Yeah, we're gonna announce it like tomorrow or Monday.
Okay.
So are you going into politics?
No, you know what? They wanted me to run for. I ran 2 initiatives in Florida. I spent tens of millions of my own money. Number one, to legalize medical marijuana.
Okay.
Put it on the ballot. And then the second thing, because I felt like I felt like what's ailing America is that people don't get paid enough. They don't have a living wage. That's what people on the right and left are really upset about. You work your ass off and you can't afford to get a hot dog. And so I put on a ballot to raise the minimum wage from $8 to $15, and it passed.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found in these initiatives that I did is that most of us agree on most things if you take the D down and the R down.
Yeah.
I passed marijuana with 73% of the vote.
Wow.
I passed the minimum wage with 63% of the vote. Everybody told me there's no way they're going to give the minimum. No, it
doubled
did.
it. Yeah.
I doubled it. And so by those things, I became kind of political. And then they all started wanting me to run for governor. And so I became kind of a political figure in Florida. And all the polling for me was good. I got great name ID. But the problem is you get to an age, and look, like I told you when we came out, I live in Maui a lot of the year, live in New Hampshire in the summertime. I got a beach house. I mean, I got a good life.
Yeah.
And
politics is not a good life.
I don't think it is. And, the idea of me sitting up doing meetings for the Florida Highway Patrol budget.
Yeah.
Like,
it's one thing to be the president. It's another thing to.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, I ain't going to cut yellow ribbons at Wawa. I'm definitely not going to knock door to door and bug people at their.
Well, you got 1,100 people in the call center, so you could go
just do that.
Take over pretty quick.
Yeah.
Do you lean more right or left, or are you in the middle? Because those are kind of more liberal ideas, the marijuana and the increasing the minimum wage.
But they're really not, because 73% of the people said yes to marijuana.
Yeah.
63%. I think I'm in the middle. It's like I think things like this. I think
that's why he wants the middle party.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to be. And what's stopping us from being really successful, I think, is there's no compromise.
Why don't you just endorse someone on the left or the right instead of trying to make a new party? Because it seems like a new party never succeeds.
I know, but guess what? Nobody thought an upside down house would either. Nobody thought the Google law firm. I'm in the business of making the impossible possible.
You're an
Okay.
innovator more than anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think there's a big difference between.
And by the way, there's more independents than Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah.
So like, like some people, 63% of the people are for raising the minimum wage, but yet there's no chance in hell of passing because the Republican Party, which is controlled by the Chamber of Commerce, they like the idea of slave labor.
Yeah.
They like the idea of paying somebody. Try to think about living on $8 an hour.
Yeah.
We've done it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't good.
No, you actually did a video. I just remember now on Jubilee with like
Yeah.
a bunch of, I don't know if it was
Yeah.
what kind of people you were up against, but it was like you and then 10 other.
25.
Yeah. What were they, like liberals or what were they?
They were everything. I didn't even know them. I just went there and did it. They
He just sat
I
in
just
a
showed up. I just sat in a chair
was like
in the middle.
Well, you
Billionaire
debate for a living.
versus-
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we do. We
Yeah.
pick juries. So I came and sized the jury up. Yeah, there was one guy who was kind of hostile. Remember that one guy?
Yeah.
He was kind of hostile about,
Yeah. So it's like Billionaire versus, and I don't remember who the rest of the people
It was
are.
on Jubilee. It got millions of hits.
Yeah.
Millions.
I
of
watched it. Yeah.
hits. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one hostile guy who's just.
Yeah.
He was just like,
They were, I get it.
he was
They were
mad
against
about
billionaires.
China. Remember, he was
Oh, they
like-
were against billionaires.
Some of them were. This guy was like, trying to take up for communist China. This guy was defending China. I'm like, hey,
Oh my
dude.
gosh.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, I've been to China. I went to China once with Grant Hill, and those people are beat down. I
Yeah.
mean, they're walking head down. My guide Lucy, I said, well, how's the housing work here? She said, well, after 75 years, they take your house.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's like,
That's-
okay,
you don't actually
I was
own it.
done with that. I'm out. And you can only have one kid. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But this one guy on that Jubilee kept trying to debate me about how good China was. I was like, my real answer wanted to be, but it wasn't, was, well, why don't you take your fucking ass to China? Why don't you take your fucking ass to China and see how it works out, buddy?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can do that.
Have you worked with Trump on anything?
No, but listen, there's things that Trump's doing that I don't disagree with. Some people are like, it's Trump, so I'm against everything
I
Trump's
know.
doing.
Yeah, that's sad.
Look, the Iranian war, it's a mess, but the Ayatollah is a bigger mess. Those people, they got one goal. I bought some Brioni shirts yesterday at the Win, and the guys from Iran, I said, what's your thought on the war? He goes, I want those motherfuckers gone. I mean, because the Iranian people
Mhm.
are being terrorized by a small group of terrible people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the country.
Yeah,
So
it seems like the people of all these places that we've gone into recently are hyped. Like, they're like, dude, we're so happy that
Yeah.
Venezuela and this.
Cuba.
Yeah. Cuba
Cuba.
wants freedom.
I mean, listen, if Trump knocks Cuba down, the money that will pour in day one into
Mhm.
Cuba
Mm-hmm.
in 10 years, it'll be unbelievable. The money would pile in. It would be a diamond
Mhm.
in the Atlantic Ocean.
How concerned are you about China?
I'm concerned about them because the thing that China's got is they got, when you got a government that can just do what they want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and we're over here, fighting with ourselves.
Yeah.
They can move quicker.
Yeah.
They
I mean, we
just
got-
do
Yeah.
things.
we
They
got
have
people
no
here-
regulation.
They got they
They
just,
want
hey,
a highway. They're like, put it up. They want whatever they want to build. They just do.
Listen, man, I got up on that Great Wall and walked the Great Wall. That was built by slaves,
Yeah.
Right.
and you can do shit when you can build great walls.
When you
got
got
slaves, that's why the Civil War was fought.
Yeah.
There's more money to be made with slaves picking cotton than paying people to pick cotton.
Right.
And that's what I felt about the minimum wage, that it was almost like slave-like labor.
Speaking of that, where do you think is going to happen with AI and everything?
I think it will be how the world ends.
Really?
I think that one day something will trigger an AI that there's a nuclear bomb coming, and what the AI says is it's mutual destruction time.
Mm.
It's the stuff that I thought that I watched in the movies that was like, this, what, I mean, when I talk to Claude, it scares me.
Yeah.
I mean, because the reason what scares me the most is I'm fucking talking to Claude all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, all day long.
Yeah.
And I'm scared of him,
Yeah.
but I need him.
Yeah.
How do you think it's going to be with, until that point, but like with jobs and everything else?
Well, it's going to be bad. I think at the end of the day, it might be where you just have to pay people not to revolt.
You're just doing UBI at that point.
UBIs.
Yeah.
Explain that, so people may not know what it is.
Yeah, universal basic
Right.
income.
Some people, but yeah, I think it'll be UBI.
Yeah.
I think because you're
going to just pay people a few thousand a month.
You know where UBI is right now? Saudi Arabia.
Mm.
They just pay people not to storm the kingdom.
Wow.
All those Gulf states are UBI states, basically.
Yeah.
Because they got the oil, they got the castles, and at some point in all governments, they'll storm the castle. Marie Antoinette said, "Let them eat cake." They said, "No. Why don't we just cut your throat?" The Tsar in Russia, they stormed the Tsar. Cuba, Castro. At some point, without some form of UBI, when you say let them eat cake, they come take your cake.
Yeah. So you think UBI happens?
It has to happen.
Yeah. That's what I've been saying too.
It has to happen because it's the only way it happens is you keep peace. Because listen, January 6th or whatever, they were storming the Capitol.
Yeah.
And they were mad about and that was just a few people.
Yeah.
That was just a few people.
Yeah. If half of America loses their job,
then, hey, look, the Yankees won. Look at what they did last night. I mean, look at in New York.
the Knicks, yeah.
I mean, the Knicks won, come back from 29 points down, and they're celebrating tearing the damn city down.
Yeah, they're happy.
They're happy. They're happy.
Yeah.
Think of what you're going to do when people are mad. I mean, that was happy.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah.
That was happy. But now when you start saying people are angry, that's a whole different mob.
Chicago everywhere.
Chicago everywhere. It's
Los Angeles.
Yeah. It's the Watts riots. At a certain point, there's a tipping point. I look at America and I look at all these countries. Like I've thought about writing a little book about it. I call it the Castle-in-the-Moat. There's this castle, and in that castle is where the top 0.1% live. And then there's a moat, this huge, big moat. And that's where the middle class is. And in that moat, there's sharks and electrical eels and piranhas. But the moat is very deep and very wide. And standing on the outside of the moat are the barbarians that I want in the castle. But they can't get in the castle because the middle class, the moat. But over time, the people in the castle start taking more and more water. This is why I did the minimum wage. They start taking more and more water. As the water keeps going from the moat to the castle, and the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, the moat goes down. The moat goes down. The electrical eels die off. The piranhas die. The sharks can't live. And before you know it, the barbarians can walk across the moat and go into the castle. And when they get to the castle, you know who's going to let them in? The guards are going to let them in because they're poor too. They're poor too.
Yeah.
The Castle-in-the-Moat.
This brings up a deeper point of capitalism and socialism and communism. I mean, obviously as entrepreneurs, we're all capitalist, but we've never, well, I take this back. If we look through history, world history, empires are always taken down for this problem. It's just, there's too much.
It's never not happened.
It's never not happened. There's too much of a gap. But now it's like technology is increasing the speed of this gap widening more than ever before. And, I'm just like, okay, they're talking about proposals to tax these AI companies and tokens and things like at a high level. And I'm like, it probably should, like, I don't know how you're going to solve this issue because we're just in this economy now where it's unaffordable for so many people. And I don't see it changing. Like, I just don't see a logical conclusion to get real estate prices down and cost of living prices down. Like, you can't lower rates again because prices will go up.
Trump said yesterday, he said, I like inflation. Did you read that?
Well, it's
What
just
does that mean? I mean, that's not true.
yeah. Only if you're rich, you like it.
Yeah.
You
because
don't
own
care.
assets.
You don't care about inflation. I mean,
Well, and your assets go up.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I get why rich people like inflation, but I'm like, okay, so if the middle class and the poor people can't afford anything, and it's not going to change, it literally cannot change. There's nothing they can do about housing and all this stuff quick enough. I'm like, where does this inevitably lead? When only the rich get richer.
It leads to the castle and the moat, where they just come and take the cake.
Dang.
And look, apartments are on the rise. I'm building I'm building 900 apartments units right now in Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
called the Glass House, and I've already got phase 1 totally leased because people can't afford a house.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lease these next 600 very fast. Home ownership is
What's the average rent?
2,000
See,
plus.
it's still a ton of money for an apartment
Oh,
in Orlando.
yeah, it's a ton of money.
Yeah.
And I got standing room only to get in,
Because that's the cheapest option for them.
and it's brand new, and it's I built
Has amenities. And
we built an ass kicking clubhouse, like a little restaurant there, got a big pool. I mean, it's like the Wynn. I mean, it's you walk into the Glass House, and then I built right next to it. Or my partner really did the building. Chuck built, but we got a shopping center called O-Town.
Mm.
So we got our shopping center right there, and we got the Glass House, and we got they can go from the apartments to Portillo's to get a hot dog, and
Yeah. It's funny. I don't know if you know who Grant Cardone is.
I do.
Okay.
he's in Florida.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna do his show.
He's great.
I'm scheduled. I think next week I'm doing his show in Miami.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I'm going
great.
down to do some pot and that PBR or what's that?
PBD.
PBD.
I'm doing PBD. I
Cool.
did him once.
So we've done stuff with both of them. Grant's a good buddy. And 10 years ago, he was saying this about apartments. And he's like, bro, America's going to be renting for good. And I'm going to build up all these A-class apartments that have great amenities and that people want. And everyone's like, you're crazy. Freaking people aren't going to do that. Everyone's going to own a home. And I'm just watching it. And I'm like, no, they're not. Like that dream is pretty over for most people in my eyes as a real estate guy. I'm like, it doesn't make sense anymore because, the average house here in Las Vegas is $500,000. The mortgage on that is $3,500 a month. You could rent that house right now for like $2,200. Why in the world would you own it and have maintenance and all when you can barely afford anyways?
About 10 years ago, out by the Gaylord Palms in Orlando, out by Disney, I stole 250 acres. In 10 years, we've built, there's 5 separate apartment complexes and a public shopping center, and just made a fortune. He's right. I mean, home ownership is not a thing of the future. It's a thing of the past.
I think that too.
Dang.
And that was the American dream.
Yeah, I think that's over. Unless they figure out how to build homes cheaper but like, I don't.
And then they build what they call affordable housing, but if
Nobody wants it.
Nobody wants it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants it.
What else do you see coming that maybe like the average population doesn't see?
Well, obviously, the thing we don't know is the biggest risk is AI, right?
Mhm.
Okay, because AI. Now, what we're going to find out about AI is the same thing we found out in the 1800s about gold.
Mhm.
Whenever there's a gold rush, there's way more fool's gold than real gold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the stock market is being powered by this rush for gold.
Yeah.
And I'll just give you an example.
I think SpaceX is today.
Yeah.
Their IPOs today.
But guess what? We're j.morgan clients, so we buy these IPOs ahead of time. But guess what? There's going to be a gold rush. When was the most recent gold rush that turned into mostly fool's gold? Marijuana.
Really?
Everybody wanted to be in marijuana. Everybody wanted to be in marijuana. But if you look at the business today, all those people who envision themselves, getting high and making money and, and eating Five Guys, it didn't work out that way.
Right.
There'll be a few that'll make it.
Yeah.
Just think about this. You ready for a quiz?
Yeah.
Name 4 drugstores in America. Go.
Would you count Walgreens?
One.
Okay. I don't know. What was the one that Walgreens, CVS.
Two. Now you're getting help from the audience. Keep going.
I mean, at that point, it's just the normal grocery stores like Walmart.
That's my point.
Kind of, yeah.
Right.
But everybody thought there was going to be thousands and thousands of marijuana stores.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, all the fuck we got is Walgreens and CVS.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it works. That's how the cookie fucking crumbles.
That's what I think too. Like, it's like there's one winner, especially in tech.
Right.
I've been wondering that with all these AI companies. It's like,
look at Google.
Yeah, Google won.
Yahoo coulda, but they didn't.
Yeah, because like even with all these LLMs, I'm like, I do not want to deal with 5 of these. Like, just give me the best one that destroys them all.
And guess why Walgreens and CVS, you know why they succeeded? Location. They're on the corners.
Yeah.
There's the ingress and the egress, the curb cuts. You don't have to jump over a median to get in there. I mean, they got the real estate. McDonald's is a sorry-ass hamburger, basically.
Right.
But you know why it makes money? Locations. McDonald's is a real estate business.
Mm-hmm.
If you could have any hamburger just put in your hand, how many times would you say McDonald's?
I'm not picking McDonald's.
But yeah, we eat at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know why? It's easy to get in. It's easy to get out. What do we really want? We want a Five Guys.
We want in and out.
We want in and out. But I went to Kyle Busch's funeral last week, and his favorite hamburgers were In and Out. And Childress, who owned his racing cars, for the reception, he flew his jet to Tennessee and brought In and Out back. To the reception.
Yeah.
So
kind of crazy. Kyle Busch grew up
right here.
Yeah, he grew up like literally like 2 streets from me.
And Kurt Busch.
Yeah.
I had dinner last night with Ronnie, the limo driver from Stern.
Okay.
At Michael's. And he's really good friends with Kurt Busch.
Mm-hmm.
And he lives in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. We went to the same high school, and it's crazy. But I got a question for you. So if that's all happening, you know, one thing I've been thinking about too with lawyers is AI, right? So many people are now just AIing all their lawyer needs. How are you guys combating that, at least in the short term?
Well, we're building our own shit, you know, because I'm not going to have fool's gold. All these people are, you know, they're building AI. What's a case worth? Well, listen, what's a case worth is it all depends on who the lawyer is. Mm-hmm. A great case with a shit lawyer is a shit case.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, it's like, you know, pitchers. If you got a shit pitcher, you're going to get shellacked.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not as worried about my business, the litigation side, and I'm not going to go get fool's gold by you tell me what a case is worth. But a couple of months ago, I spoke to the Harvard Law School, and one guy asked me, and now here's, you know, top people. He said, how do you see the law? He said to me, what would you do if you were me? I said, look, first of all, law firms that bill by the time are basically a criminal enterprise. Okay, billable time is a criminal enterprise.
You could just say it took however long you want.
Look, it's like, hey, I'm going to mow your grass. How much? $100 an hour.
No, just mow the grass.
I'm going to pay you $50 to mow the grass.
Right.
I'll pay you, but there's only a few professions where you're paid by the hour and trust them to be on the honor system, and they're being told by their partners they got to bill 3,200 hours a year or they're not going to be partner, and they're sitting there looking around going, what, you know, stealing.
Yeah.
That's been a bullshit deal for a long time, but I told this student, I said, here's what I would do with AI, because it's coming. I would have a law firm that doesn't charge by the hour, but charges by the job, powered by AI. You want to build a WonderWorks like I built? You need a private placement memorandum to go raise the money? Look, you can punch a button and have it done, 90% done. It's just boilerplate.
Yeah.
People aren't buying. They're not going to the law firm to have the document made. They're getting the document made to have insurance if they have materially omitted something.
That's how I've worked with my lawyer now. Like, I'll make it and I'll be like, hey, just make sure It's good.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're not going to pay somebody by the hour to mow your grass.
Right.
And so I told him, I said, what I would do if I was you, a young guy, I'd go out with a bunch of these smart boys and girls that you got here, and I'd start the by the job, not by the hour law firm powered by AI. You want a last will and testament? You want this? Here it is. This is the cost. Here's the cost. Here's the cost. And and by the way, it's revolutionary because nobody bills by the job in corporate America.
Yeah. Don't you think that'll force pricing down for everyone?
They all got to be worried about it. They all because listen, I guarantee you've been in a situation where you've hired lawyers and you got that first bill.
Yep.
You're like, what? What? And you're going through a divorce, and if you're, Edward Bennett Williams wrote a book that was called The Man to See, and he was a great criminal defense lawyer, and he had a sticker in his desk drawer. It said, the best client is a scared rich man. You can charge a scared rich man whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. Why? I don't want to go to jail with P. Diddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to be at Rikers with Puff Daddy.
You didn't represent P. Diddy, right?
No, but I'll tell you an interesting story about. I'll tell you an interesting
so many
story.
clips in this
I'll
podcast.
tell you an interesting story about P. Diddy. When Johnny Cochran was alive, I helped him roll out his firm.
Yeah.
And I went to meet Johnny for the first time at his office. And when I walk in his office, guess who's sitting in the lobby? Puff Daddy, or he was Sean Combs then, and Jennifer Lopez.
Okay, they're getting divorced.
No, they were there because he had brandished a gun. In New York, and he was charged criminally. And Johnny and I met. So I meet him. I was like, "This is pretty good." Here's Sean Combs, and but he got off. But I told Johnny that day. I said, "Listen, this needs to be your last case." He goes, "Why?" Because he was getting into personal injury. I said, "Listen, right now, America believes that you, because of OJ, are undefeated.
Just be done.
Just like, most boxers they got to go back and get their ass beat, for money. I mean, I'm reading now, poor Floyd Mayweather.
Coming back.
He's coming back. You know what it means?
He's out of money.
He's out of money.
Yeah.
He's out of money. They all come back because they're out of money. I told Johnny, I said, there's shit that, criminal law doesn't pay like PI law anyway, but America thinks you're undefeated. Chris Rock had a thing, say, people said, if anybody that hires Johnny Cochran is guilty, and Chris Rock said, hey, I'd rather be guilty and free than innocent in jail. So that was the day. On the way, we went to Rochester, New York. We came back, and I said, Johnny, once this case is over, and that was his last criminal case.
You know what I've always thought about? So as a Christian, it's like I was thinking one day, I was like, man, if I was a lawyer and I had to be like a defense lawyer and defend a guilty person, I'm like, could I even do it? Like, how do you?
You have to do it because it's bad. Because you hate the people. I wouldn't want to do it, but it has to be done to protect the system. I'll tell you an interesting story about that. When OJ got off, and never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be owning the Bronco years later. You never know how these turns are going to turn out in life. And so people started hating on me about being tied in with Johnny Cochran. So one time a guy comes up to me and says, yeah, I just want to tell you, I used to respect you, but I don't. I said, why not? He said, well, because Johnny Cochran. I said, what about him? Well, you know what he did. He got O.J. Simpson off. I said, do you think O.J. Simpson was guilty? I know he was guilty. I said, I do too. And I said, let me ask you another question. Do you think there's people on death row right now that didn't do it? He goes, probably. I said, do you think there's people that have been put to death from death row that didn't do it? He goes, yes. I said, well, let me tell you something. until you're as pissed off about that as you are about O.J. Simpson, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if we're going to be outraged,
Yeah.
Yeah. Be about the one who
Yeah.
got his life taken away.
what about that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and listen, no system is perfect.
Right.
But in my tech center, and you can use this in your center here, I got a sign when you come in, and it applies to my business, but it applies to a lot of things in life. Done is better than perfect.
Mm.
We got a civil justice system. We got a criminal justice system. It's not perfect, but it's better than China.
Yeah.
It's better than Russia. It's better than anything else in the world.
Mm.
And it works because we have a fair system. We have a jury. They don't always get it right.
Right.
They sometimes get it wrong, but they get it wrong both ways. But done is better than perfect. So,
Right.
Are you Catholic or Christian?
Catholic
You're Catholic. Got it. Are you still a practicing Catholic?
every Sunday.
Amen. There we go.
Every Sunday.
Yeah. I just always wondered about that. I was like, yeah, man, like how would I feel if I was a lawyer and I had to do that?
I wouldn't want to be that, but I also
Yeah.
wouldn't want to mow grass. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of other shit I don't want to do either.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, but it needs to be done. It
Right.
needs to be done.
They need
because
representation.
listen, don't forget, there's good cops and there's dirty cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's good cops and there's bad cops. And some of those cops lie
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why these body cams have been a really bad problem for the bad cops.
Right.
Yeah.
So those criminal defense lawyers have been out there fighting this system without the body cams.
Right.
And now we got iPhones. When you start, with the whole crowd's now just filming,
Yeah.
and you see how the cops get pissed off when people pull out cameras.
Yeah.
How
We're
is
getting a lot more cases right now.
Yeah.
how has faith played a role in your success?
Well, look, there's two possibilities. There is a God or there's not a God. My wife is like, I ask people all the time this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being 100%, 1 being no chance, what number are you that there is a God?
10.
You're a 10.
That there is a God?
Yeah.
I would say that there is a God,
Yeah.
100.
Okay. I'm about a 7.
Okay.
I'm not embarrassed about that because it's, it always gets down to the Big Bang or God.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's basically it. But now my wife, she tells me there's, it's impossible that there's not a God.
Yeah.
That's got,
That's where I'm at.
there's no, I wish I was you. I wish I was 100.
You said you're 7 out of 10.
I'm 7, but I'm always, look, Mother Teresa, right before she died, she had doubts.
Yeah.
She had doubt. Look, it's far-fetched when you
Yeah.
think about it. But I'll tell you what else is far-fetched, the Big Bang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This whole thing is far-fetched.
Here's how far-fetched Big Bang is. Here's what, do y'all got any kids?
Yeah. 4.
All right, I got 4. When they come and ask you, Daddy, is there a God? Why is there a God? You say, okay, here's why. There's either a Big Bang or there's God. And the Big Bang is like this. You take a Swiss watch, deassemble it, put it in a bag, shake it up for I don't care how many years you want to shake it up, open it up, and then there's a watch with a band on.
Yeah.
That's the Big Bang.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Then I would say to my kids, they go, well, no, it would never be a watch. I go, how would you get the watch fixed? They go, well, we take it to the watchmaker.
Yeah.
The watchmaker's God,
Yeah.
in my mind.
Yeah.
And by the way, the oceans and the sun and the moon and the earth and the human body is way more complicated than a Swiss watch.
Yeah.
I mean, why does the sun not fall out of the damn sky? I mean, you ever looked up there and go, what?
Or
you know,
burn us or
yeah,
anything.
all that.
I was thinking about that last night.
Yeah. So I think about it all the time, but also, and listen, don't forget, I think the devil's real.
Yeah.
He is real.
I think the
He
devil's
is real.
and he's the one.
I know
he's the one putting the doubts.
He's a damn liar.
He's
Yeah.
and he's trying to get you to come with him.
Yep.
Yep.
And so you got to fight that all the time because you're like, and what happens is the smartest people are the ones that think there's no God.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed
100%.
that?
100%.
The smartest people are the ones, and I'm smart. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I'm a different kind of smart. I'm smart enough to know what I'm not smart about, and smart enough to get people who are. But in the process, then I look at God, and here's why I'm a 7, moving to 8. The last prayer I say every night is, "Give me more faith,
Yeah.
please." But the reason I'm more than not
Mhm.
is, and I don't know if y'all ever been to Israel.
Not
No.
yet.
Listen, man, you got to go see it.
Yeah, I want to.
When you're standing outside the gates of Gethsemane, when you're up there where when you're going all over, when you're walking those streets, when you're at the Holy Sepulchre. But here's how it comes down to me. There was these 12 guys that followed him around. Before he died, they weren't sure.
Yeah.
Judas
Yeah.
sold him out for a
Yeah.
bag of silver. Peter, who
Denied him.
was told that you're going to deny me, I never will do it, and he did.
Yeah.
Thomas, even when he came back, said, "Let me put my hands, let me see." But when he rose, the whole for me, it's the cross and the resurrection. And after they saw him rise and come back, all of them, except for one, died a martyr.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They got on foot and fanned out across the world.
Yeah.
On foot. Peter, who denied him, was hung upside down on a cross himself.
Mhm.
So only one lived to die as an old man, John.
Yep.
And so the lives of the apostles after the fact is why I'm moving to 10, because here's what I think. They saw something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They saw the risen Christ.
Have you ever seen
Because
anything?
you wouldn't die. Yeah, I've seen things.
What have you seen? Have you experienced miracles and stuff like that?
I think I have. I think I have. And here's the funny thing about it. There's things that happen, and at the moment I'm like, okay, I'm a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
Look
all
at how
of
he
us
met
are.
his wife.
Yeah.
I'm a 10. I'm a 10. And then all of a sudden I slide back to 8.
Yeah. Satan.
Satan.
Yeah.
It's Satan. It's something, or it's me wanting to be God. I always think, they kept saying, why, is the devil's when you want to be God? I don't want to be God, but maybe you do. Maybe you say, I'm so smart, I'm smarter than God.
Yeah. Why did God do this? That doesn't seem right.
Yeah. And the old people say it's not, if he was a just God, he wouldn't have done that to my brother.
Right.
I went through that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I went through that. But at the same time, I'm going through that with my brother. I got priests in there. We're pouring Lourdes water over. We're still praying to God.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the one thing I know is this. I talk to him every single night. I'm not talking to myself. When I go to bed, it goes like this. In the Catholic faith, we have a thing called the act of contrition. I say the act of contrition. Then I say the Lord's Prayer. Then I got people on my sick list. And right now I got my brother-in-law. I got a lawyer in Jacksonville who's got ALS. And I got a little boy who's got a brain deal. And I asked for them to be healed. And then I pray for more faith. And then the last thing I say is, I don't know why you gave me all this, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Gratitude. That's how I fall asleep.
I've there's a lot that you said there, but in regards to, because other people listening to this are like, yeah, I feel like I'm a 7 or I'm a 5 or.
And don't be embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
Here's what you got to be embarrassed about. When you stop trying to find God, because he's laid it out there. And I don't think he's going to blame me at the end if I get there not a 10, because he's going to say, I didn't stop looking. I didn't stop praying. And I've been a 10, and then I've been an 8, and it fluctuates.
Yeah.
But I think the sin is when you say, I'm not going to pray for faith.
Yeah.
Because why would you? Because in the scheme of things, this is one grain of sand in a gigantic hourglass.
We're just a mist.
And I'm not going to risk eternity, because eternity is a long time.
Yeah, we actually had a pastor on recently, and we were talking about this and miracles and, whether or not the gifts are still around today or if they've ceased. And I was telling him, I go, I've seen miraculous things that, just from my own testimony and supernatural things where it's like, it's a 10. I've like seen it.
Yeah.
And whether you believe it or not, like that's just what I've seen. And therefore, your own experience, like the disciples, they saw the resurrection. They're like, there ain't no doubt. I will do anything now because I've seen.
Can you imagine walking on foot to Ethiopia? Hell, I don't even want to walk to Wawa down the street here. I mean, I'm taking an Uber.
Yeah, exactly. But
I haven't thought about that.
one thing
on foot.
That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
then telling people, and people say, no, no, no. And then people going, we're going to kill you if you keep this up.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
We're going to kill you. Go ahead. Sooner the better. I want to see him.
I recently learned something that Thomas, doubting Thomas, actually went the furthest out of anyone.
Mhm.
He took it all the way to like Asia, and like, he got the furthest geographically
On foot.
on foot.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But it makes me think about faith because Corinthians says that faith is a gift, and it's not something that you really earn or like. It's just a gift.
You know
from
what I'm
God.
fascinated by? These people who almost died, but they came back and they saw the light and they felt this peace. And recently I had a guy in my firm named Xander Clem, and his dad was an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he had a near-death experience. And this guy, Chester Clem, was a no bullshit guy. I mean, he wouldn't lie. And he said he had a dream or a near-death thing. And he said in the dream, he was in this white room, and there was people on the outside, and he felt this incredible peace. And he felt like he was, going over the Rainbow Bridge. And he said the only thing in the room was a clock, and the hands were on 10 and 2. That's the whole dream. And so Xander tells me this story about his dad, who had been a lifelong atheist, but a fantastic human being. I mean, the best. And so Xander told me the story. So I'm sitting there thinking about it. I said, I think he was almost dying. He goes, oh yeah, it was a near-death experience. And then he came back and he goes, I said, what was the clock? It said 10 and 12. He goes, yeah. I said, you know what, Xander? I said, I don't want to read too much into it, but if the clock was the cross, 10 and 2 is this.
Mm-hmm.
This is on the 10 and this is on the 2. If the clock was, and Xander goes back to his dad was still alive. Xander went back over to Vero Beach, told his dad what I'd said. The dad and Xander's children have been trying to get him to accept God and Christ. Chester Clem accepted God like 2 weeks before he died.
Wow.
Praise God.
And that's okay.
We call those buzzer beaters.
Yeah. And yeah. But
like the game last night.
Yep.
Last minute.
You got a buzzer beater.
I told Xander, I said, that might have been a miracle. That
for sure.
The 10 and the 2.
Yeah. Whatever makes you believe.
Yes.
Just one thing that you do.
So he died. Now he'd already lived he wasn't a bad, he was a great person.
Right.
But I think and then his granddaughters were just thrilled to death.
Yeah.
Because they were worried for their grandfather because they want to be with him.
Right.
Forever.
Right.
In eternity.
What would you say, we're talking about eternity and everything else, and you've built all these different things and have seen your company grow. What would you tell guys like us who are in our 30s, hustling and building, and it's hard for me to even think like, what did the next 35 years look like, and then you're talking about the compound effect of wealth and building something, and we haven't like reached that in our lives. We're just like in the very beginning of building wealth.
Well, what I would tell you is, number one, it goes very fast because it seems like yesterday I was 37.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that. And what I would say is just keep your eye on the ball and what's important. And as much as money is important, is not really important. The best times of my life were probably when I had the least amount of money. when I look back, I mean, the best times in my life were probably college when I was, nothing. The best times in my life were when my children were little to 13 before they started talking back to me at 13,
Yeah.
and I didn't have any money. And we were just kind of scraping around. Though the best years of my life were the years that I had the least amount of money. So the first thing I would tell you is this: enjoy these years.
Mm-hmm.
Because whether you realize it or not, some of the best years of your life are right now
Mm-hmm.
and are already past. Those years in baseball for you,
Yeah, they were great. I had no money.
you had no money.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you start making money, and then money can become your God,
Mm-hmm.
and money can be what drives you. And then we start making the real big mistake. The biggest mistakes I've made in my business life is whenever I have been greedy. And you know when I've been greedy? When it's too good to be true, but I still do it anyway.
Mm.
You know what's too good to be true? It's too good to be true, but you do it anyway. You have a smell test you don't like, but you keep going anyway. When you smell that smell test, it smells bad. One of the books I wrote, a chapter called Dog Shit, and the dog shit chapter goes like this. Have you ever been walking in the woods and stepped in something and your foot slipped?
Yeah.
You go, damn, I just stepped in dog shit.
Okay.
But you keep walking to the car and you start trying to convince yourself, wait a minute, that was probably wet leaves. That was probably pine needles. That was probably just wet grass. And you get closer and closer to the car. And by the time you get to the car, you're like, that wasn't dog shit. And then you get in the car and then you shut the door of the car.
Yeah.
And then there's a smell. You know that smell? You can smell it right now. We all know that smell.
Yeah.
Now you got two choices. There it is. It's right there for you to see. You can take your shoe off, get out of the car and put the shoe in the trunk and drive home with your socks on, or you can just keep driving with the dog shit on your shoe and track it all in your house. It's your choice, and you know it. And you know it. So remember, when you think of John Morgan, think of this. Last piece of advice, maybe. If it smells like dog shit, there's dog shit.
Mm. Where did that happen for you?
Oh, it's happened. It's happened when a guy that I did business with, who controlled the money, controlled the flow. He was kind of a charlatan. He was kind of he was just a bullshit artist. But he was engaging. He was just, and I just, but I didn't feel it. And then there came a day where we were supposed to split the money. And he was like, no, that's not our agreement. And there was three of us. The one group sued him, and they had the same lawsuit I had. I made a decision just to walk away and go let that bad experience. They paid him. He paid them, but he didn't pay me. But I'd known it all along.
Yeah.
There's these people that are just, there's Bernie Madoffs everywhere.
Mm.
Why did Bernie Madoffs, all those people? I had a friend who told me one time, he said, hey, I got a deal you ought to invest in. And what? He said, my aunt's in this deal, and this thing's returning 12% interest every year. He says, I can get you in it. I go, 12% every year? Because remember, if you can make 8% compounded on all your investments, that's all you would ever want. That you wouldn't want anything else. I started a bunch of banks when I was in my 20s. I understand compounding interest. Compounding interest can make you rich, and it can make you poor with debt.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy's telling me 12%. I'm like, so 2008 comes. I go, what happened with your fund? You won't believe it. We made 11%. I go, how? The world crashed. He was out of the market. He was out of the market. I said, he's out of the market?
This guy's a genius.
It's fuck. A few years later, I get a text from him. The subject line said SOS. I'll never forget it. SOS. Call me. I call him up. I said, what happened? What's going on? He goes, do you remember that fund I told you I was in? Yeah. I went through my wife. Yeah. Have you been reading about Bernie Madoff? He goes, I go, yeah. He goes, I had all my money there.
Wow.
$11 million.
Dang.
If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. If it smells like dog shit, it's dog shit. And what drives us through it is greed. Even when we know it, even when we could smell it, even when this guy's a bullshit artist, but they're so enchanting, and they're all sociopaths. They take everybody's money. I mean, they're taking their brother's money. They don't care.
Right.
But they're so damn charming and convincing that we fall for it, and it's our own fault because it's our own greed.
Yeah. Have you, I mean, just with an investment like that, that's one form of greed. How do you think greed has impacted you, with running your business in terms of maybe, I don't know, not wanting to hire people or taking more of the cut or?
Well, well, first of all, I think I make more money by loving them, feeding them, and focusing. I think I make more money by paying more.
Right.
I think I make more money that way. And I think that, look,
because a lot of guys are focused on the bottom line and like trying to cut costs. And you see these private equity companies coming in and doing all these things.
Yeah, look, right now, all this private debt, they're all crashing. Blue Owl's crashing. The redemptions are crazy. I had at my conference Morgan Housel also. I don't know if you've read The Psychology of Money. Please read The Psychology of Money.
I'm going to write it down.
I'm going to tell you, dude, you're going to be calling me going, John, thank you for The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel. And there's formulas. So here's how I do it. First of all, I avoid debt.
You don't take on any debt?
Not much.
Yeah. I
mean, if you have to, you have to, but not much.
That's hard for a real estate guy.
It's hard for a real estate guy, but listen, my WonderWorks, I had no debt. You know what I did? I raised all the cash.
You got partners, so there wasn't debt. It was equity.
Now look, if I had taken on debt, first of all, the bank would never have loaned me the money.
It's on these weird ideas.
Yeah, like the house will be upside down. No, no. But even if they would have, if I'd taken on the debt, then because the odds are the business. I told you the odds on business is failing already,
and your investors knew that.
Yeah. So, but by not having the debt, I made less money. Because I'm paying that preference, I'm splitting the profits with them later. Yep. But it can't drown me.
You're safe.
I'm safe. So I'd rather make less money than lose it all.
Yeah.
And you're right about real estate. But there's ways to hedge those things. I mean, there's non-recourse money. There's there's all sorts of ways. I mean, like, for instance, you should never, ever have your spouse sign a personal guarantee if you can get away with it.
Right.
Now, look, I started a chain of banks. I mean, I wanted personal guarantees.
Yeah.
I wanted joint and several personal guarantees. I wanted recourse on everything.
Right.
But for the investor himself, I'd say to them, figure out a way to hedge your bet where you may not make as much as you could have. Because there's no way to outperform leverage when it works.
Right.
I mean, when leverage works, you're a genius. But it doesn't work most of the time.
Right.
So there's two books. There's a book called The Tortoise and the Hare. I'm the tortoise.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this question a lot recently because, I flipped houses for a living. That's how I got started. We flipped almost 1,000 homes.
By the way, the guy that bought the Rays, Patrick Sapolsky, Dream Finders, that's what he did.
Yep.
That's what he did.
And I only experienced an up market from 2010 when I got started to 2022. And then all of a sudden we, double rates and all that stuff. So I end up losing millions, pay back my investors. But I was like, dang, I seen what debt can do to you. Like, this is not good. And so now I'm like kind of anti-debt too, to a degree. But then I've been thinking about like, I still want to grow, and you need capital to grow.
But here's what when you do the debt, here's what you got to always do. I think when you're going to take on leverage, I got what I call the A side and the B side.
Okay.
I want the B side to be a number where no matter what happens, that I can go buy 4% tax-free bonds and live my exact lifestyle. So like if your lifestyle that you need, let's say you need, $1 million a year to live. Okay, so what do you need for $1 million? You need,
25 million.
25 million.
Yep.
You're like me. I was shit in math until they started putting dollar signs next to the numbers, and I came the fucking Rain Man. But you do that 25 pretty good. That was a tether. Yeah. So I get that number over there, and I'm never going to touch. You're never going to get recourse on that. Now over here, that's where you can collapse but not collapse.
Take some risk, take some bets.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, you got to listen. Yeah, that first $100,000 I borrowed, was pure recourse.
Yeah, you took on all the risk.
I took it all. So don't sit here. I'm not going to sit here and say, I didn't do it, because I did.
Yeah.
When I borrowed money for the case costs on my cases, I had personal debt guarantees then.
Mm.
So I've had debt. It's almost impossible to start in business without debt.
Right.
Sometime. But you can hedge your
as
bet
you evolve and
as
build
you
wealth.
evolve. And by the way, the reason you want to take debt when you're early is you got a runway to correct it
if you fail
and get it back.
Yeah.
Because when you remember failure is your friend, and you're going to come back, and all those mistakes you made before, you're never going to make again.
Yeah. Yeah. Final question, because I know you got to get out of here.
Okay.
So even along this lines, since you've done so many businesses, this is just something I've been thinking about. So, I have this golf business, and it's basically the
what kind of business?
Golf.
Golf.
So
that's why you know about McKenna.
Yep. So it's basically, I call it like the YPO of golf. So essentially, it's all high income business owners who want to golf together at bucket list trips and be a part of this network. So the average business does about 10 million a year. I started it 10 months ago, and we've already got 350 plus members. We've gone on all these sick trips. Everyone loves it. And I think this year, in the first full year, we'll do anywhere from like 7 to 10 million in revenue.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like exploding.
Wow.
And I got a lot of members who want to invest. And it's profitable, so it's not like I have to, take on money. And like, I guess the greed that I've been thinking in my mind is like, I want to own 100% and like take it to wherever it's going to go. But then like I've started to just watch other successful people, and I've done it in real estate. I raise money in real estate, but I've never done it in a business. I've always just bootstrapped everything to this point. And I'm like, man, I wonder if it would make sense to start taking on some investors and strategic partners and like just go take this thing global. And because I had another podcast guest who started to make me, he's like, why are you not partnering with people in Canada and all these things? And I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I'd say two things to that for my final answer.
Okay.
I had 4 kids too. You know what governed me a lot? When they were sleeping, I'd go look in those rooms, and I'd look at those little faces, and they're all I'm the guy they're counting on. So when I was making my decisions on what to do, it was as much about them as it was about me.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing I'll tell you about owning 100% is I look at it this way, and I'll show it to you. Would you rather own 100% of this pie or 50% of this pie?
Right.
Because I'd rather have 50%. Don't get caught up in 100%.
Right.
Get caught up in the pie.
Yeah.
How much pie you're going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And so in all my businesses, when I've taken on partners and things like that, I've focused on the pie.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, all my businesses, I'm just looking for a sliver here and a sliver there. And when you take all the slivers and put them in the pan, you got 100% of the pie.
You got a big pie.
You got all the pie.
Yeah. That's kind of what I've been thinking. And that's like new for me. I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't know if it's a control thing or don't want to give up, you know, what could be massive.
Well, don't give up
Yeah.
control.
Not control.
No.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're not. I mean, listen. Nobody tells me what to do. Nobody ever told me what to do at WonderWorks.
Right.
You know, they were
You had partners, but you got all the control.
They're called limited for a reason.
Right.
You're called the general for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
General limited.
Yeah.
Make sure you never let the documents.
Yeah.
Are important.
Yeah. Well, that actually confirms some of the things I've been thinking about. So I appreciate you coming and giving us so much wisdom.
Oh, that was awesome.
This was
That's
awesome.
like one of the best podcasts we've ever done.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You had a lot of knowledge when you done
you know,
everything under the sun.
Because we do pick juries for a living. When I first came in, I was like, I'm sizing these guys up, and I'm like, you know, they're like, I got to do this, and you know, is he gonna be okay? But then we stayed longer, and you start asking me more questions, and I started thinking that you might be enjoying it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was like, dude, we got the biggest lawyer in the world. We're good. But anyways, guys, where can people find you?
They can find me at j.morgan at forthepeople.com.
j.morgan forthepeople.com. Guys, go check it out if you need any help in legal, injury, and go check out John's new book. It's over on Amazon.
Life is Luck.
Life is Luck. We'll link to that down below too. It's going to be a great book, obviously talking about the left turns and everything else. So go check it out, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.